1340 96.5 KVGC. Heard round the world, kvgcradio.com. If you've got one of those little Alexas, just say, Alexa, play KVGC Radio on TuneIn Radio. And there we are. And you know what? And here we are. Douglas Viviani. Douglas, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing? Did you have a happy Valentine's Day a couple days ago?
Yeah. How did it go in the Viviani household?
Well, it's not so bad. We have the school districts run these special persons dances now. I don't know if you've heard of that. I guess you can't say Valentine's Day. But anyway.
Whoa, stop. Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. Called Special Persons Dance.
You can't say father-daughter or Valentine dance? Or not?
No, I don't know where it comes from. I guess it's like a situation if you just have, I don't know, one family member and you can't identify, that it's dad. Like, I had to take Leo, let's put it this way, because my wife couldn't make it, so I was the special person.
Oh, okay. So
Leo and I went, and we had pizza, we had pictures taken, his buddies are running all over the place, he's 6 years old, and finally got him to dance, the chicken dance, so we had a nice little time for ourselves. And I used to do that with Angelica, but now she's 9, and I went to the dance with her, and you go and you arrive, the school's all decked out, and everybody's all, there's chocolate candies to buy, and it's all, it's pretty organized pretty well, lots of activities, picture booth with, things to put on and crazy thing. But the kids disperse at 9 years old already. They get in, and there's a huge circle of parents watching kids dance at that age for quite a while until the announcer or the DJ has to come to play and say, all right, we're playing a song, find your special person and bring them onto the dance floor. And begrudgingly the kids come and grab their special person and start dancing for one song. So it's already you see the independence coming into play at 9 years old. Have you experienced that or no?
I just want to ask you one thing. I consider you a fairly intelligent guy. You never figured this out? Juliana has to work?
Exactly.
You never figured this thing out yet?
No.
How come you don't seem to have to work on that day? Is there what's going on here?
Isn't that nice? Well, she works a little distance away, and they have these things early. So,
okay.
That goes,
No.
Once in a while. She despises it. To be honest with you.
No, I've never, because here, in fact, Sutter Creek does a big thing, a father-daughter dance. Our school district just actually had a mother-son dance.
That's a good one.
But no, I never, because I don't have girls, don't have a daughter, so I've never gone to one. I have nieces, but they have fathers, so I've never been invited to go to one.
Well, how about your wife with your sons?
Well, no, because they just started this. This is the first year they did it.
They didn't have a special person. It was always father, son,
it was all, it was always father. So, no. So to answer your question,
no. I hate to say it. I mean, it's a kick. I actually bought a corsage for Angelica a little ways back for her wrist. Yeah. One of the first ones when she was 6. And, this crazy peer pressure. No one else had it, so she took it off and didn't want to wear it. And it really is a test of your fortitude as a parent that you put up with. And, you want to make it fun and so forth, but it's one slap in the face after the next at these things, usually. I hate to say it.
Well, let me just ask you this. Was your day filled with cards and candy? Did your family prepare dinner for you and you sat down and they took care of you? Or is it the other way around?
It's the other way around. Dad's got bags of candy and gifts and different novelties for the kids. He's got the flowers and the chocolate and the cards for Mom, and I sit around the dinner table and everyone's opening and happy and loving the cards and all, and Dad's just there. Like, Dad, are you to the point with your wife that you don't even exchange the cards? I mean, I didn't even get a card from my wife. How about that? I mean, what does that tell you? I don't know. I hate to say it.
Did you ever read about how candy and flowers and so forth came about? Everybody thinks it's, Hallmark invented this. It comes from kind of from a pagan ritual, and it's almost a bloodthirst ritual. Have you ever read how candy and flowers and stuff? Yeah, I won't take the time now to go into this, but after we get off the air, go to the Google and look at it. It's kind of a dark origin of holiday. But.
And so, if I'm not getting it, does that mean a good thing then? I'm not being brought into the blood sport? I don't know.
Hey, I was sitting in a bar last Saturday afternoon having lunch with some friends, and there were sports on all these TV. Sports are kind of slim pickings, these days right now. We're kind of in a lull, between things. But there were, some games here and there, but one screen had this movie on it, okay? And I'm going to explain this movie to you. I had not seen this movie. Of course, there's loud rock music playing, people are talking, and all you can see is the screen. So I can't hear the dialogue, but I'm watching this movie, and I start asking my friends, and they, boom, know right what it is. Okay, there's a girl running through the forest, and everybody is trying to shoot her with arrows. She's trying to shoot people with arrows. They're all young people.
Right, the Hunger Games?
That's it. It was the Hunger Games. Yes. I've never seen that.
I don't understand the fascination with this at all. I've never seen it. Don't want to see it. It looks like it's the craziest thing on the planet. It's like this is the only time that some kind of thing where that's their society, where it's the only way to I don't know, what is it?
I was sitting with
age? I don't know what it is.
I was sitting with two grown men, one grown woman. They knew, oh yeah, that's blah blah blah. They named the name, and every year they have a drawing, and they're like their areas come together, and they have to fight, but everybody. They got to kill everybody, and one person survives. And Donald Sutherland was the evil guy, and the guy that runs it, and all. It was they all knew it and knew exactly what was going on. I'm like, what the hell is this going on here?
Yeah, and they had smiles in their face and knew the lines and everything. They enjoyed it, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know. What'd you think of it? I don't think I could do it.
I was. You know how you just start watching something mindlessly while and I was kind of just watching it going, oh, I should see, what is this here? And then it just went away.
I don't know what it is. I'm not into the shoot 'em ups anymore. I just like, unless it's like a war movie or something that has a place for it. But, that's just like, basically to me, gratuitous, just shoot 'em up. Just, let's make a movie and have kids chase each other and have different kind of weapons and shoot them up and go from there. I don't know.
Watched the movie the other day. Watched the movie. And actually, Teresa wanted to watch this. And it actually was a pretty good movie. It was called Deadpool.
I keep hearing about this. And there's a sequel. And it might be in the new, spoiler alert, the new Avengers Endgame. Came out just a couple of days ago. A picture of that character with Captain America and a couple others from the Avengers movie coming out in May.
But see, there's a guy that is it's like, remember when Steve Austin first came out in the WWF, I guess it was back then?
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah. And and The Rock was that way too when he first came out. A bad guy, but is a good guy, like an anti-hero, but he's everybody's favorite because he takes it to the man.
And he's funny, right?
Yeah. It was good.
I'll have to check that one out. Everyone I talk to says that it's actually a good character, a good movie. It's not one that I grew up with, so I sort of didn't,
Yeah, I don't know where he came from. I saw how he was created in the movie.
And what does he have? That the same thing as Wolverine, where they can't hurt him?
He regenerates. I mean, he actually cut his hand off in one of the scenes. Sorry, folks, if you haven't seen the movie, but he gets handcuffed and he cuts his hand off to get out of this, and his hand grows back. It grows back as like a little baby hand. He's got a baby hand then it grows back to a regular.
All right, so it's worth a shot, because you do go through all this stuff, and you see a lot of movies, and you just go, well, I don't know what the heck to watch anymore, and where do we go with this? So that's a good recommendation. I'll go with that.
Question for you and David. I just gave away, I don't know if it was a spoiler, but I gave away a portion of the movie there by saying he got his hand cut off. When you guys are prepping for your show, do you say, hey, let's not talk about this, or let's not talk about that, or this is a major plot twist, or a major... Do you not...
It's sort of in the show Bible, if you will. Like, we don't have to do it individually every single show. If it's a show or a movie that is, out currently and that would be defined as within the last 2 to 3 years, we're not going to really say too much about it unless it's like a Star Wars where, quote, everyone has seen it already, But something like that, if it's 2 or 3 years, you're not gonna go there. We're not gonna do a spoiler at all. But after that, then you have to have sseen it already. Too bad. We'll spoil it for you if you haven't seen it. And if it's been out for like 5 years plus, and you haven't seen it already, well, if it's subject to a joke or it makes relevant sense, we'll go in there.
I was working with the owner of KVGC, Larry Rudder, and we were talking about the Perfect Storm. Movie had just come out, and they had seen it that weekend, and we were talking about it, and he said, it's kind of it's a true story, but it's kind of a silly story. I mean, the boat rolls over, sinks, they all die. And everybody's like that, and it just came out. Like, you have no sense of, how do you do that, And now we can talk about it. It's about 15 years ago. Yeah,
it makes,
but
sense.
just there was like this silence. You know how just the earth stops for 10
everybody
seconds?
just had to change their plans for the weekend at that point.
Huh? So now the big joke we always say, the ship rolls over and dies. That's, how'd the movie end? Man, the ship rolled over, everyone died.
That's his claim to fame, this guy.
Well, what about Titanic? I mean, why do you go to a movie like Titanic when you know what's going to happen in the end? Nobody is going to come up. Half the people are not going to make it out of there.
And 3 hours of slow torture. If you haven't seen the movie, like, you're thinking about it, it's a 3-hour movie, but I know the ship sinks, so what are we watching inch by inch as it goes down?
Yeah.
But I think that was one of the first movies that used a historical event as a background, and the characters, they were fictional, and they created a fictional story within that background. So I don't know. I thought that was so creative to do that. Other movies have done that since. I remember Pearl Harbor came out right after that. Kind of a flop, but they did that as well. So it was, that was different and unique. But there was a what do you call it? A Titanic movie, maybe in the 50s, that won awards and so forth. Basically, line for line, if you look at that old Titanic movie, basically line for line, the same as the new Titanic movie, except Cameron put in his own fictional story in there, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So why would you see the first one? Like, it's a disaster, but I guess people want to see what's going on. How did it happen? It's strange, but, we want to see that car accident as we're driving by, right?
What's the last movie you actually went to the theater and saw?
We just went to go see the Lego 2 movie last weekend.
Okay. Did you like it?
It wasn't bad for what it is. It does have some pop culture references for adults. And when you go to the movie with a 6-year-old, you're missing 2 or 3 parts of it because you're going to the bathroom 3 times.
Yeah.
So
what was the last adult movie you went to?
It's got to be like just Avengers Endgame was it.
What happened to Teresa and I is we went through kiddie movies with JD, and then got into action movies like Arnold was pretty big back when JD was of age to go see that type movie. Then Jake and Joey come along, and we go back to kiddie movies again, and we stopped going to the movies to see adult movies, and now we very rarely go to because we got out of the habit.
Right. Right.
And we don't go to see kid movies anymore because we don't have kids to go see movies. And the last adult movie I went and saw was The First Man, and it stunk the whole. That went away fast, didn't it?
It sure did.
It stunk the theater up. Before that, I had seen. Was it Perfect Figures? The one about the women that are involved in the.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah,
that was a great movie.
Yep.
That was a great movie.
You know, it is true. You know, I used to go to the movies all the time.
Yeah.
Maybe twice a month at least, with buddies or, my wife and what have you. And then you have the kids, and, when you have that free time, you're dragging the kids to the movies, or they're dragging you, and you got to be age appropriate, so to speak. So you really, your mindset is totally out of going to see, quote, adult movies, which is a shame. Those are reserved for television on a Saturday night when the kids are asleep,
How old is
my
Leo?
My question is,
Leo's 6, right?
Leo's 6.
Would you take him to see The Terminator?
No, he gets scared of this stuff pretty quickly.
How about Predator?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
He's a temperamental little guy.
But Angelica would like those, right?
Yeah, Angelica was. Yeah, 9 is okay.
Okay.
She'd go see those. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, we're stuck. It's the middle of the winter here. There's, you've had snow over there. We've got a little snow here, but not enough to go out and play in. And it's cold and blistery. And what are we doing on the weekend? So I'm thinking what to do just along those lines. Is the Twilight Zone appropriate for a 9 or 6-year-old? I don't know.
Boo, 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 boo.
There's nothing gory. It just has some
exactly.
crazy ideas once in a while.
But it's cerebral. Would it cause them to have? Well, would they understand? I mean, Angelica would probably understand it. Leo, he wouldn't. I don't think he would understand it. Do you?
But here's the thing. I showed him the one that was To Serve Man. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And it's a cookbook. Talk about spoilers, and the aliens come down and whatever. And I showed it to him, and he saw the whole thing, and at the end he saw the hero being taken away in the spaceship and all that. And he's talking about it for the last, got to be the last 10 days. He brings it up almost every day.
I watched.
I don't know if I scarred him or if he's, he didn't feel too good about it.
I watched one just the other day. Funny you bring up Twilight Zone. A couple wakes up in this house, and they'd been out at a drinking party, at a cocktail party, and they wander through the town, and they can't, and they get on the train, and the train just takes them around, and they realize they've been shrunk, and they're just in like a little play town in a little train set.
Actually, it's a kid, right?
The kids play with it.
You put your humans down, Johnny. Come eat dinner, because they're just little playthings now for an alien.
How about, do you have one of those, we have them here in a couple of places where you go in and you put on this like a wingsuit, and they turn the big fan on, and it simulates you skydiving. You float around in the chamber.
You know what? I've seen it. I've not seen it on Long Island. The only thing that I thought you were going to go down the road of was the indoor laser tag. They do have that.
Okay.
But they're not totally into the laser tag. Have you done the one you just described?
They don't have a fan strong enough to. But I've given them as prizes, or not as prizes, as gifts to my nephews for Christmas, and they love them. They take they'll video them for you, and it's pretty
a
cool.
lot better than jumping out of a plane. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. So
it's the same thrill. How about indoor go-karts? You have those?
In a few places, yeah.
I don't know, something like that. Or do people go bowling anymore? I haven't done that in forever.
Yeah, we have a real active bowling alley here. Gold Country Lanes, very active.
And you have leagues and all that?
Yeah, kids leagues on Saturdays.
Did you do that as a kid?
My JD did. In fact, JD was so good, he had a chance but didn't accept it. He could have had a bowling scholarship to go to college.
Wow, really?
Do you know that there are bowling scholarships?
I did not know that.
Yes, and very few people do, so it's a very small pool. And it's easy
but they're using the fingertip balls now, right? You don't put your fingers all the way in. It's sort of you're just up to the first knuckle.
Well, I don't.
It's all changed. Everyone's got the curve. They teach them the curve right away. And some of my favorite, best memories of Saturday afternoons was my brother and myself and a couple of buddies on a team at the Melville Bowling Alley right down the block, Saturday afternoon, every Saturday, bowling, and then going for a slice of pizza afterwards as young teens. You know, it was a lot of fun. It's actually a great little sport to have fun with. So maybe I'll get them into that. But I can't teach them that anymore. It's like you have to go for a lesson. Like the technology's changed, just like skiing. They've changed the technology to the hyperbolic skis, so you almost can learn to ski in like 2 days instead of 4 years. You know?
And what they won't experience is one thing that I like about bowling alleys and other lounge type places is you walk in there, you smell that old cigar smell and kind of the beer smell, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the sticky beer on the floor.
But don't you like that?
Before.
I mean, our bowling alley's not like that. I mean, there are some that are, but I like that. That just harkens back to a time that I enjoy.
It does, and as a kid, you walk in there and you sort of know that your parents or the older folk were there the night before, hanging out and partying. The bar in the bowling alley used to be a big thing. I
guess what I'm saying is when I walk into a place like that, it takes me back. Okay,
yes.
It takes me back. Hey, we're running out of time. Yep. What do we have for tonight's show?
Well, tonight's show is a focus on Disney a little bit. We got Mary Poppins came out. Mary Poppins Returns recently. This year, 2019, there are going to be nine Disney movies released. All of them are going to be basically remakes of old Disney products, like Dumbo's coming out, and that's going to be a live action. And so we're figuring out, what is this really what Disney does? Is Disney basically a larger and earlier concept of everything old is new again? Because they're now reinventing all of these old tales. And if we're going to go back and take a look at the original princess tales, if you take a look at the original tales, the way they were written, Little Mermaid's not such a great little story. It's horrifying, actually, what goes on, and as is Cinderella and Snow White. So we'll go through the original and see how Disney Disneyfied, if you will, those tales to make them something that's of interest to watch now. And actually, then we're going to finally, you got to tune into this, because what we're going to do is see, what if Disney actually purchased Everything Old is New Again? Would they instill some rules to change our show, and/or would they make us animated figures? And if so, how would we sound as an animated figure doing our show?
I came home from a basketball game last night. What was on? The live-action Disney. I don't know if Disney did it, but it was Cinderella.
Yep, that was Disney.
Yeah, it was Cinderella, and Bellatrix was the fairy godmother. Yep. And I don't know who one of the guys from Vicious was the father of the prince, and all. And
it was well done.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
They're doing every single animated movie that they've done over again with people or whatever, live action. So they're digging into the well again, creating something new, or is this just a rehash?
Or is it something old?
Correct.
Everything Old is New Again, tonight at 6 o'clock with Douglas Viviani and David Cohen. Douglas, have a great show.
Thanks. You too. Enjoy it.